Hi everyone, my name is Mark Deere and today I've got Candice back. She's talking about her book. We actually got the book. So a couple of episodes back, well a lot of episodes back actually, I think it was in the first 10 episodes, I talked about how we'd been working on her book. We'd been working on the physical layout and the cover and everything. And they're here. They've been here for quite a while actually, but we're finally getting around to making a video about it. So how does it feel, Candy? Do you want to tell us all about it? Oh, so this is Candice Deere. I don't know if I introduced you, did I? I think I did.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it feels good. I'm relieved. It's done. The Amazon version is completely fine now. There was some issues with it and now it's fine and it's a relief.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
I was going to say, there's 3 copies here for a reason. It's not like we're like, let's put a bunch of copies there. And we're just sitting in our front yard today. I thought, oh, let's just make a video in the front yard today. But yeah, it's interesting because initially, and you probably you won't be able to see in this, but initially because we got it, I talked in the last video I made about sending it to the printer. Is this the printer one? I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the printer proof. So, and they're all a bit different. They all weigh differently. So one is from a printer here in Australia, and it feels it feels really good. But these ones are a bit more dense. Then there's one from KDP. Is that what it's called? The actual Amazon.
That one's from KDP.
Yeah, this is the Amazon one. So they're all, you can probably tell even from this distance that they're like a little bit different. This one's a bit more saturated than this one, and this one's a little bit different again. So yeah, and this one's from Draft to Digital.
Yeah.
So for self-publishing, there's like different options you can have for where your book goes, and yeah, we had to kind of set them all up. So the Amazon one, we updated an early one that mentioned the printer, so we had to take that out, and there's some other stuff. So, but yeah, it's ready to buy on Amazon now. So what would you say?
So buy it.
How did you feel about the process of getting this all done? Because we kind of, last time we talked about the book being finished and us working on the printing, like, what would you say now with this step being done? Because we got it into a contest as well, right? So do you want to just walk us through that?
Yeah. Well, the first thing I would say is if you have enough money to pay someone to do all this for you, pay someone to do it all for you, because it's a lot to learn. And I would definitely say, because there's a lot of stuff you need to know, and it's different in Australia to other countries as well, but there's a lot of stuff you need to know about what you're meant to do when you self-publish a book, like submitting a copy to the National Library of Australia and putting it on databases and stuff like that. And yeah, there's a lot of steps and a lot of stuff that, I mean, there might be somewhere you could find out all the information in one place, but I just kind of found it from all different places, and Mark obviously
And it was totally a learn as we go thing too. It was kind of like, oh, now we need to do this. How do we do that? And we kind of learned as we went. And it's a massive process. I'm surprised it's not like somebody just, I guess the other option is get a self-publishing company or whatever who'll do it for you. But then I guess, all they're doing is that one step and then you never need them again, but they get money from your book forever. So doing it on your own probably makes more sense. But it was a lot of effort. I mean, and in other videos I spoke about how I'd worked on it whole days, or it definitely took up weeks of time. Like, it was a long time.
Yeah, because there's all the different stages. There's the formatting, after the writing it, there's the formatting, that like typesetting, like the inside of the book, and then I got an illustrator to illustrate the cover, which is awesome. His name is Reese Thomas, and he was amazing.
He has a channel on YouTube too. Risk It is his channel. I'll put a link in the description.
Yeah. So luckily I didn't have to learn too much about the illustrating cover design side of it, because he did pretty much all of that. And the printers told us what dimensions and everything they needed. But even, just the typesetting and the uploading it to the different sites and all that. It was just, I'm not very technologically savvy, so for me it just made my brain want to melt, and luckily you are, so Mark helped me with most of it.
Yeah, we got there. It was definitely an uphill experience. It certainly was never easy. Yeah, but it was good. And I mean, it's funny because maybe you can talk about, so when the printer ones came out, we were still working on the Draft to Digital ones, which are because why would you use Draft to Digital? Why did you use that and Amazon and the printing? Do you want to talk about that first, maybe? This might end up being a long video, but I'm like, if I put it all in one video, and then we can do a real video another day. But this is our quick debrief because Candy was sitting in the front yard and I hadn't made a video yet today, so here we are.
Well,
And I've wanted to do this for weeks.
Yeah. And I was sitting in the front yard because our grass is amazing at the moment because it's been raining. So I was sitting on the nice grass. Yeah, so I got copies printed, like the print versions printed first before I uploaded it to Amazon or anything like that. So before it was officially published, I got it printed with the Australia-based printer. And I think the main reason I did that was just so I had copies to give out to people for free, because I wanted to give out a bunch of copies for free because I thought, well, nobody knows who I am. I've never written a book before or never finished a book before, so people probably aren't going to be willing to pay me $20+ for a book when they don't know who I am or whether I can actually write a book. So
well, this is it. It's not like you've even been telling people you're a writer. I mean, because we talked about it in the other video, you've done 3 novels, but you've never really told anyone you write novels, like where compared to screenwriting, where people have seen movies you made, seen screenplays you wrote, you've been paid money for development. So this is like a whole new thing. And it's like, oh, you wrote a book? Like people are surprised when she's been telling them, because you've never really broadcast to the world that you wanted to be a writer, right?
Yeah, no. Well, and, it's kind of one of those things where it's a bit of a leap of faith even trying to write a book. So it's like guaranteeing that it's going to get finished. You can't really guarantee it. So I didn't really want to tell everybody in case it just never got finished.
Well, this is it. I made that video about that, how like and it's the same with movies, the last 10% always seems to take 90 or feels like it takes 90% of the time. And that's what this felt like. Like writing it, monumental task, took ages. But how brutal was this part of the process? Like to call it finished, because you say finished, I think most people think you finish a novel like the end, finished, but it's just not.
Yeah, no.
Do you want me to hold this for you? I realize you've been holding it this whole time.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I should have put a stand there, but I'm happy to hold it for you because you're talking more than me.
Yeah, and I think I said in the last video, the writing was definitely the fun part. And then after that, it got less fun. And I think since that video, it got even less fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's gone in the world. So those first printed copies, because even talking to the guys, the printer was called Goliath Printing, who we used.
Goliath Media Group, I think.
Goliath Media Group in Australia.
And they were great.
And they were amazing. They were so great, right? Michael was the main guy who we worked with.
Yeah,
he was amazing.
He was
amazing.
really,
so
really
helpful. Good. Awesome. And it kind of, that did make it like, well, he's helping us. We can get there. Like it felt like we had support. And he had nothing to gain except, I guess, us printing, but... So that was great. And you got 250 copies, right?
Yeah, 250 copies of that. And I thought...
So they arrived in 1 million boxes actually one day.
Well,
the proof right first, because that's the proof. Yeah. And I wanted to make a video that day and we just didn't get around to it. It was very exciting and, we took photos and stuff. But I think, that's the very first copy we got. So it was very exciting when that arrived and we showed some people and stuff. But then we had to wait for the real copies after that was approved. So it's a lot. It's definitely a waiting game too. You get things set up, but then while we were waiting for each kind of process, the next thing happened, right?
Yeah. So when I got this, I read it as quickly as possible to approve it.
Oh, I did too. I read it in a day.
Yeah.
It was brutal,
And then once it was approved, then the 249 other copies could get printed and then sent, and that was all pretty quick. Like the turnaround was pretty quick. And then I was like, what am I going to do with all these books? So I've gradually been slowly giving them away to people.
Well, I was going to talk about Sonny doing that too, which we can probably talk about with these copies. So our son has been taking them to school in his bag. He actually took a different backpack to school because I have a backpack with like a little compartment. He's been like chucking 4 books in there, just like distributing them to people. So
like on the black market, but for free.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to read them.
The word's gotten out and people are asking. So he's put it in his I mean, a few people have talked about how they read it and got into it.
So there's been a couple of teachers, a couple of kids, or a few kids, which is kind of exciting.
Well, and there's been kids wanting to get it out of the library, but it's not like in the system or something. That's going to happen. Yeah. So that was exciting. And so then while we were waiting for those printouts, then we moved over to doing the Amazon one first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was all pretty quick and relatively straightforward is a bit of an oversimplification. It wasn't really that straightforward. We had to Google a lot of stuff that we didn't understand.
But obviously a lot of people have done publishing through Amazon. So there was definitely more information about that than there was using the printer.
And I think that was our theory in our heads. It's like, well, how many other people have done this? We can figure it out. Like so many people have done this. But it was still pretty complicated. But and that was, and the proof arrived.
And we mistakenly used the wrong internal because we used the internal from the one that went to the printer and we had to change that. So that was another process. Sorry, you talking about that?
Yeah, but I think it told us that before the proof got done and everything, like before.
Oh, yeah.
So that was relatively quick.
Smooth, yeah.
And didn't take too long. And
yeah, except for the ordering of the copies. So then, because it was on Amazon, because there was the publish date, the official publish date was the 30th of October. And so that was the day it went live on Amazon, the 30th of October. And on that day, a bunch of people bought it. Like some people, I guess, knew it was going up. Like one of our friends, and she told some people. So you made sales.
A couple of people bought it.
Have you actually looked at the sales? Like,
yeah,
do you know how many bought it? Oh, there you go. There you go. And so that's exciting. And this is the thing. I'll put a link in the description if you're watching this. You can humor us and buy a copy. But so now,
shout out to Cassie who bought it.
Well, I was going to say that was the funnest thing, getting a fan, right? So that's why I thought that's linked to Amazon because people could buy it online. Candy got a fan. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes. So, well, technically, Catherine, my friend and proofreader, Catherine, she bought after Mark. I think she was the second person to buy it, and then she told her family about it. And her brother and sister-in-law have a son who's just turned 10, I think, about to turn 10, around 10, and which is pretty much the
target
same
market, right?
the age of the main character in the book. So yeah, very much the target market. And so Cassie, her sister-in-law, bought her son a copy, and I hope it's okay that I say this.
Right,
yeah, and he read it in like a day or two, like really quickly, and Catherine got a photo of him reading it and text from her brother and sister-in-law saying that he was enjoying it, and she passed them on to me. And it was just so exciting seeing, especially a kid who I didn't even know. I've met him when he was really little, but like a kid who I didn't know directly very well.
And who didn't know the kids in this or anything. And to know that it's semi-loosely based on our kids.
Yeah. So kind of just like a cold audience.
And the book's about moving. It's about some kids who move and they have a time machine so they can go back and not move, or they try to go back and not move. But he hadn't even moved in his life, right? So
I don't think so.
And he still got into it. So that was very validating and reassuring.
Yeah. And it was just exciting seeing someone else other than my immediate family and close friends reading it. So yeah, it was very exciting.
And that's the thing. I've talked about this a lot in other videos and stuff about how, well, I haven't done a whole video about it though, so I probably should, about how like art, you make it because you want people to see it. I mean, a lot of the time you make it for you want to put meaning in it, but it's like knowing someone else sees it. Like with our movies, a lot of our movies we've never released publicly, you know, and people have seen them because we screen them, but we never really did them publicly. And it's like, you want your art to be seen. And so knowing somebody, at least one person saw it, is like, hey, maybe this will help someone else, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like I wrote it for our family mainly to help us kind of work through our own experience. And so I think, you know, the initial copies I printed to give away were kind of just like, it wasn't about making money from it. It was more so we would have copies and yeah, just so it was officially a thing that our kids could hold in their hands.
Well, and they've all got them on display in their rooms, and like they've read their copies and stuff. Again, even though we'd all read it as family, so yeah. That was definitely a great, primary motivator.
So it's just kind of a bonus having other people read it.
Well, I think that's the exciting thing. So the main reason we had to rush the Amazon one was because it had to be able to be purchased publicly to enter the competition. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so the competition...
The famous competition in Australia, which has been around since we were kids.
Yeah, for children's books. And so it was the deadline for applications was the 1st of November. So I'd planned to release the book on the 30th of October because I thought that gave me 2 days, or just over a day, to actually do the application.
And it was released in time.
And honestly be able to say it has been published, even though
and purchased by a couple of people.
Yeah. Even though technically it didn't need to be published until the 31st of December, but you needed to send physical copies. So I thought, well,
just get it all done.
If it's just all done before the deadline, and the physical copies needed to arrive in the mail by the 14th, I think, of November. Anyway, so I thought if it's published and the copies are sent off in time, then otherwise there was kind of extra stuff you had to do, I think, to be able to apply. So,
and like when we entered Melbourne Underground Film Festival that year, and I talked about that in another video where it was I don't think they even saw our thing because I sent it It was postmarked like a day or two before it was due, but I think like they had enough submissions at that point. So you got to get in earlier, and so at least you got in on time with this as opposed to begging to get accepted later. So now we've got to wait till Book Week next year, Australian Book Week, which is in August next year. So we've got to wait till August next year to find out if you get a prize, and if it gets a prize, then it'll probably become a known book. Otherwise, the only people who ever know about this book will be the people who watch this video. Probably. But anyway, it's exciting. Maybe we'll start telling the world about it, but like there's no rush now. We can wait till the competition. And so then do you want to talk about the last thing? So the last thing was the draft to digital people.
Mm-hmm.
And why did you use them? What do they give us? I say us, but you know what I mean, give you and everyone watching.
They make your book available for booksellers, so bookstores, to buy, and libraries, and
as opposed to just Amazon, and that's internationally, right? Like that's USA, Australia, like everything. Yeah. Cool. So totally worth it. But they take a massive chunk, right? So like royalties wise, so the printed books you're making pretty much 100% profit, except they cost how much to print? About $10 a book to print,
depending on how many you get.
Depending on how many you get, but yours are about $10 or $15 a book, right?
10-ish.
So if you sell the book for like $20 of that, you'd get like $5 to $10 of profit, right? Well, then if you nail it, yeah. And so then the Amazon books. The Kindle book, because we had to make the ebook as well. So the Kindle book, it does okay, right? Don't you get like $4 or something off a Kindle book?
Yeah, because it costs $10.99, I think, on Kindle.
Australian, yeah. And you make about $4.
I think you make like $6, I think.
Oh, that's pretty good. There you go. If you want to donate money, then just buy the Kindle version, even if you never use it, because that's the most money.
And the paperback, I get like $4 something.
Oh, that's really good too, off Amazon,
Off Amazon.
And they print those on demand.
And then draft to digital, I get like 96 cents.
Isn't it 46 cents? I think it's 46. 46 cents. But that's still better than if you publish through a real publisher. That's for a $25 book. But if you publish a $25 book through a real publisher, they take like 95%, and that's not even 95%. So
I think it varies.
You'd probably get 2 cents a book. I think
it's between like 80 and
90. Yeah. You're not getting much if you publish properly, but they put it in every store. So I guess a lot of not much is more of, you know, not many sales. So anyway, it's interesting. But yeah, it's been a really interesting and educational process, right? Like I've had a great time, and there's real physical books. I said the battery ran out, so I don't know if I'm going to do part 2 of this video or do it in one and have an edit. I might just make a note and have an edit, and I'll flick to like an insert of the book. So if you wonder why we cut to an insert of the book, it's because I wanted to make it all in one video, but otherwise 2 separate videos. But yeah, because I don't usually edit. But anyway, it's fun, and like, it's been stressful, but it's also been really good. Like I said, so once she was eligible, I was like, oh, that's a really nice email. So it ended up being really good. And I hope the competition comes through the goods. 5 books got sent away, so 5 people are going to read it. Anyway, this is a long video talking about that. I don't know if anyone's interested, but it totally took up a huge chunk of our life. Like I've been making these videos, but like this took up a big chunk of my life, I feel like. And it was worth it. It was so great. Like I love the book because it's really validating. Like it really, I talk about stories so much, you know, and it's like I feel like it really communicates better than you know, it gets you closer to living it than I think if someone told you, you know, like it just really makes you understand what it was like for us moving to a new town, knowing no one, with kids, and I think it was really validating for them to get to read it too. So yeah, it was great. So the book is called Portable. We haven't actually talked about the book, but I'll do a 3-minute video where we actually talk about the book, I think, and it will be concise, and people who aren't interested in the process will watch it. Yeah, get the kids on it. Yeah, that's a good idea.
The story better than I do.
Yeah, so I'll do that properly. But for now, you can be an early adopter, and the book is available on Amazon if you want to go buy it right now. So I'll put a link in the description, and yeah, it's fun times.
Or if you want a free copy out of the 250 copies we have, just leave a comment.
Exactly.
Post you one
I'll have to figure out how to post it to you. Yeah, well, for free / it'll cost, I don't know how much, depending on where you are. If you're in like Uzbekistan, it might be too much for postage, but you know.
That's true. Within Australia.
Yeah. Anyway, good times. I mean, even overseas, I would send it to someone in the USA if they wanted one. It's just maybe I don't know how much I'll follow up on these videos and stuff though, so we'll see. It may be an empty promise, maybe a real promise. I don't know. See how we go. And we're sitting on copies. I don't know how long we'll be sitting, because Sunny's given away about, how many boxes have you gone through? About 2 boxes already? No? Oh, I thought there was already empty boxes. Is there not? Have you gone through 1 box yet?
Well, I've given away a whole bunch to people.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought you'd gone through a bunch.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
How many boxes down are we? Not 2 yet?
No, it would be 2.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
A bit. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're disappearing. So eventually they'll probably all go. But anyway, like I said, it's on Amazon, and we might be able to do more printing, and maybe some crazy publisher will take it one day, and these ones will be very rare. The most rare ones are the like 4 or something that went to Amazon that had the wrong internals. They'll be the most rare books. But anyway, it's been very fun, and I'm very proud of you, man. Good job. And yeah, but it's not back to movie stuff, right? You're already working on a new book, right? Yeah, among other things. There's always multiple projects going on at once. So, because I want to edit the episodes of the kids, and I say I want to edit, and I mean I want Candy to edit like one of the episodes of a kids show we've been working on. So might try and get that up in the next couple of weeks, I reckon, because it's Christmas themed. We shot it last year at Christmas, so maybe I can get it up in time for this year's Christmas. That's the one I've talked about in other videos where we had a different episode in a in a film festival earlier in the year. So yeah, it was an official selection. So get this one done and put it on YouTube. All right, is that enough talk for one day?
Yeah.
There's probably a lot more questions, and I think we could probably break it down very specifically if we were organised, but Candy was just sitting here and the sun was going down and it looked pretty, and you can't actually see it. I should have filmed against the sun, but I filmed in our front yard, but I just thought, let's talk about the book, and here we are, we did it. So very exciting times. Thanks, dude. Like I said, I'm very proud of you, and the book is worth reading. I highly recommend it, which probably makes me sound biased, but you got validation from one kid.
I did.
And a few other people, right? Like a couple of people have given feedback. So,
but
yeah, I'll send you one if you're like, I'll definitely read it and give you feedback, because I think that's the thing. Like, we can give them away, but I think a lot of the people who get them aren't ever going to actually read it. So maybe they will. Who knows? All right, we'll call it a day. Thanks for watching today. Yeah, if you haven't already subscribed, what am I up to now? This is video 53, so there's 47 more videos to make before the end of the year, 31st of January 2025, because I'm doing 100 videos, 100 days for my documentary, so which you'll probably also help me with. So fun times. All right, thanks everyone. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks, Candy. Good job. I'm going to walk over there. Do you want to hold this while I go stop it?